I got an Amber Alert saying my son was abducted, but he's sitting right next to me. I think I'm about to be arrested. I was halfway through a cold quesadilla when the Amber Alert flashed across my phone. Child abduction. Be on the lookout for 7-year-old Eric Price. Last seen in a 2011 gray Honda Accord. At first, I thought it was just another statewide alert I could ignore. But then I realized something. That was my car's make and model. And Eric Price? My 7-year-old son is also named Eric. My heart stuttered. I glanced in the rearview mirror. There he was. Eric, humming some tune and fiddling with a plastic dinosaur. I told myself it had to be a coincidence. So I set the phone aside, telling myself I'd check it again later. Then it buzzed with a second alert. The license plate number. Mine. Fear jolted through me. I pulled into the nearest gas station, killed the engine, and swiveled to face Eric in the back seat. There he sat, wide-eyed and cheerful. My same sweet boy. My mind spun. Could the school have accidentally triggered something? Maybe I forgot to sign him out. I dialed the elementary school, hoping they'd clarify. The line rang, and finally the principal, Ms. Bennett, answered. "Hi, this is Adam Price," I said, voice shaky. "I just took Eric home early. Did I forget something?" A pause. "I'm sorry, sir. Who did you say you are?" "Adam, Eric's dad. I picked him up maybe half an hour ago." Silence, then a sigh. "Eric Price is still here in class," Ms. Bennett said bluntly. "Look, I don't know who you are, but this sounds like a cruel prank. Goodbye." She hung up. I stared at my phone, pulse pounding. Eric sat quietly in the back, no longer humming. He just stared at me, his expression off. My phone buzzed again, an unknown number. My stomach lurched as I read, "Take the child to 45 Maple Drive." Something about that address rang a bell. It was in a rundown part of town. Anxiety twisted inside me, but I followed the instructions. I pulled back onto the road, hands trembling on the wheel. Eric fell silent, almost watchful. By the time we arrived at the decrepit building, he started shrieking in a voice that barely sounded human. I parked in the shadows. Another text. "Leave him outside." Eric flailed in his seat, kicking the windows, ranting in a voice that sounded both childlike and monstrous. My instincts screamed at me to run, but I forced myself to unbuckle him. He clawed at my arms, howling. I half dropped him onto the pavement, then scrambled back into the driver's seat, my heart hammering. He thrashed on the ground, hissing and screeching. Then, from the building's darkness, a hulking shape emerged. It looked like a troll from a medieval story. Massive, gnarled arms covered in soot. It grabbed Eric in one fluid motion, ignoring his desperate thrashing, and disappeared into the building. Even as I heard those final screams, I stayed frozen in the car, paralyzed by terror. Another message. "You are free to leave." I backed out, practically on autopilot, heading straight to the ice cream shop Eric loves. I stepped inside and just ordered myself some coffee, not tasting a thing, my thoughts racing. Who had I truly driven around that day? And if that wasn't Eric, where was my real son? As I drove home, I kept glancing in the rearview mirror, expecting to see someone else or something else. My phone never buzzed again. Weeks have passed, and no police have come knocking, no talk of a missing boy. It's like that horrifying day never happened. But sometimes, late at night, I swear I hear a faint voice from the back seat, whispering my name in the dark, and a question repeats in my head. Did I just trade my real son for that thing? Because the real Eric never came home, and now I don't know how to get him back.